When people talk about the biggest allies of India in the Middle East, a few names usually come to mind. They might mention Saudi Arabia or the United Arab Emirates. These nations are certainly powerful friends to India. They are sources of immense investment, pouring billions of dollars into the rapidly growing economy of India. Saudi Arabia, for example, has made a monumental promise. The kingdom has pledged to invest over $100 billion into India. That number alone demonstrates the incredible importance of the relationship between the two countries. It is a partnership built on a foundation of capital and economic need. However, there is another country in the region. This country is arguably more strategically important to India than any other nation in the Middle East. It is a very small country, a thin sliver of land on the Mediterranean coast. This country is Israel. In terms of pure investment dollars, Israel plays a much smaller role than the Gulf giants. Yet, the partnership it shares with India is unique and profoundly interesting. The reason for this is simple. The bond between India and Israel does not rely on money alone. Of course, money is a significant part of their story. But what is equally, if not more, important are the other pillars of their relationship. These pillars are deep military ties, unwavering political support on the global stage, and a surprisingly strong personal friendship. The friendship shared by leaders like Benjamin Netanyahu and Narendra Modi has acted as a powerful catalyst. These two men have cultivated a personal rapport that has enabled the governments and businesses of India and Israel to forge a burgeoning, multi-billion-dollar friendship. Today, we will not focus in depth on the military or political ties that bind these two nations. But it is absolutely essential to understand that these ties are the powerful undercurrents. They are the driving forces that create the trust and the environment for Indian businesses to expand. They enable Indian entrepreneurs to look towards Israel and invest in the startups, the innovators, and the industries of the nation. As the economy of India emerges as one of the fastest growing in the entire world, these investments have become more and more ambitious. In the year 2022, the gross domestic product of India was recorded at over $3.3 trillion. This colossal economic engine makes the country more than capable of acquiring major businesses anywhere across the globe. We see this with powerhouse companies from India. These businesses range from the sprawling conglomerate of Reliance Industries to the technology giant Infosys and the historic Tata Group. These are massive, big-time investors on the world stage. And today, a significant number of them are setting their sights on the lands of Israel. So let us begin this conversation and explore a fascinating trend. What exactly are Indian companies buying in Israel? Is it just land? Is it small businesses? Or is it something much, much bigger? Let us begin with a deal that is so significant, it has the potential to reshape an entire global industry. This particular acquisition is still a consideration. It has not been finalized yet because the announcement is very recent, but its scale is among the largest ever proposed between the two countries. Around the year 2023, the Indian behemoth, Reliance Industries, announced its intention. The company stated that it wanted to acquire a company listed on the stock exchange in Israel known as Tower Semiconductor. While a final price tag has not been announced for the bid from Reliance, we have a very clear idea of the value of this company. Not long ago, the American-based technology giant Intel also wanted to acquire this same company. Intel was prepared to pay $5.4 billion for Tower Semiconductor, but that deal eventually failed to go through. Now, Reliance Industries wants to seize the opportunity that Intel left on the table. What makes this potential acquisition so incredibly significant? Beyond the eye-watering multi-billion-dollar numbers, there is a deeper strategic reason. Tower Semiconductor is not just another company. It is a vital piece in the entire global chip supply chain. The world runs on semiconductor chips, and this company is a master of its craft. The company specializes in manufacturing a specific type of chip known as an analog chip. These are not the high-profile processors you hear about in computers, but they are the critical, unsung heroes in countless devices. They are essential components for our mobile phones, for life-saving medical equipment, for cars, and for industrial machinery. Now, consider Reliance Industries. It is a corporate giant, but its operations are still hugely focused on traditional businesses like oil, gas, and retail. It has far less of a footprint in the world of advanced, high-tech manufacturing. This deal, if it succeeds, would be a quantum leap. It would open up an entirely new world for Reliance Industries and, by extension, for India itself. It would be a world where India can gain immediate access to the global chip competition. In essence, this deal is so important because it would finally enable India, through Reliance, to own its own billion-dollar chip company that can actually compete on a global scale. And make no mistake, Tower Semiconductor is not a small, niche business. It is a rapidly growing global force. To understand its trajectory, you only need to look at the revenue. In the year 2009, the company had revenues of about $300 million. By the year 2022, that figure had exploded to over $1.68 billion. This shows a company on a steep upward curve. Furthermore, the company boasts advanced fabrication facilities, or fabs, not only in Israel but also in the United States. This means that if Reliance is able to successfully acquire Tower Semiconductor, it will not only gain access to the technological prowess of Israel, it will also gain a strategic manufacturing foothold inside the United States, one of the most important technology markets on the planet. This is an exciting possibility, but as we noted, it is still just a possibility that could fade. However, the ambition itself tells the story. The tech grab from India does not stop with hardware and chips. It also extends deep into the world of software and services. A key player here is another icon of the technology sector in India, Infosys. The Indian tech giant acquired an Israeli firm called Panaya. This deal was valued at about $200 million. While this is a smaller deal compared to the multi-billion-dollar acquisitions, Panaya is still a crucial strategic purchase. The acquisition brings newfound, high-tech innovation directly into the portfolio of Infosys. Panaya specializes in a field known as software as a service, or SaaS. Specifically, it focuses on change impact analysis and cloud-based testing for large enterprise software systems. That may sound a bit technical, but what it means is that Panaya provides smart, automated tools that help massive corporations manage and update their most complex and vital software, like enterprise resource planning systems and customer relationship management systems. To put it simply, this acquisition allows Infosys to acquire a new, highly specialized industry to operate in, strengthening its offerings to global clients and deepening its expertise in cloud-based solutions. The strategic partnership extends beyond the digital world of chips and software. It reaches directly into the physical lifelines that support a modern nation, from the medicines that keep people healthy to the ports that keep trade flowing. This is where we see Indian companies making massive investments to secure control over vital physical assets in Israel. A prime example comes from the pharmaceutical sector. A company known as Sun Pharma, a major Indian multinational pharmaceutical firm, successfully acquired an Israeli company known as Taro Pharmaceuticals. This deal was not a simple, quick transaction. It had a long and complicated history, with negotiations and bids dating all the way back to the year 2007. But eventually, the deal was completed, and Taro Pharmaceuticals became a subsidiary of Sun Pharma. Today, Taro Pharmaceuticals is a very big business. The company holds over $1.3 billion worth of assets. The significance of this acquisition is twofold. First, it gives an Indian company a powerful stronghold in the highly developed drug markets in Israel and wherever else Taro operates. It expands the global footprint of Sun Pharma. But second, and perhaps more importantly, it is about technology and knowledge. The deal facilitates a transfer of technology, advancement in pharmaceutical research, and access to the cutting-edge innovation that Israel is known for. These are the key ingredients that can help the pharmaceutical businesses of India to thrive and compete more effectively in both their domestic market and in international markets. Beyond medicine, there are also major acquisitions happening at the docks. One of the most stunning examples of this trend involves a company called Adani Ports. This Indian conglomerate led a consortium to buy one of the most important pieces of infrastructure in all of Israel. They purchased Haifa Port, which is also known as the largest port in Israel. This monumental acquisition totaled about $1.15 billion. To grasp the scale of this deal, you have to understand the importance of Haifa Port. The port is located in the north of the country. In the year 2021, it handled over 56% of the entire cargo volume of the country. More than half of all the goods moving by sea into or out of Israel passed through the docks that are now controlled by an Indian company. One can immediately recognize this as a key, vital investment. Gaining access to the largest port in Israel, a port that handles more than half of the national cargo volume, is no small deal. This acquisition does more than just generate revenue for Adani Ports. It acts as a gateway. It will open the door for even more investments to pour over from India into Israel. When investors in India see that one of their own companies owns the largest port in the country, and another owns one of the largest pharmaceutical companies, and yet another is bidding for the leading semiconductor company, a powerful message is sent. It creates a sense of confidence and security. If you have been keeping up, you can already see the clear trend. Indian companies are not just making minor investments. They are acquiring some of the largest and most strategically important companies in Israel. And the deals we have discussed are not the only acquisitions out there. This reality should immediately set in stone just how important Israel has become to India, and in turn, how important India has become to Israel. These billion-dollar corporate deals do not happen in a vacuum. They do not appear out of thin air. They are built upon a solid bedrock of deep trust and collaboration that extends to the highest levels of government and the most sensitive sectors of the military. This foundational relationship is what makes the corporate world feel secure enough to make such massive bets. One classic example of this deeper partnership comes from the Tata Group, one of the most respected and historic conglomerates in India. The Tata Group teamed up with Israel Aerospace Industries, the premier state-owned aerospace and aviation manufacturer in Israel. They did not just sign a sales agreement, they formed a joint venture. This is a much deeper form of partnership where two companies come together to create a new entity. The purpose of this new venture is to work on defense products. The two countries, through these companies, would then begin to manufacture things like tanks and advanced radar systems together. What makes these collaborations so important goes back to what we stated at the very beginning. The two countries share a burgeoning and powerful military relationship. These joint ventures do not just ensure that the military ties continue to grow stronger. They also create a positive result from a business and profit point of view. More broadly, this level of defense cooperation could even play a role in helping to reshape the complex geopolitical arena of the Middle East. Companies are also not the only collaborators in this grand scheme. The governments of India and Israel have been signing official deals for years, paving the way for this economic activity. One crucial agreement, for instance, was when the two countries signed a formal pact on industrial research and development cooperation. This agreement was designed to enable and encourage cooperation in key, high-tech sectors. These sectors included healthcare, aerospace, and electronics. Many security and technology analysts pointed out that India has a tremendous amount to gain from this. Israel has a profound and world-renowned skill in developing cutting-edge technologies like artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and, as we have seen, semiconductors. This agreement formalizes the pathway for that knowledge to be shared. The military relationship is not just about co-development. India has also been a major customer, acquiring advanced defense technologies directly from Israel. These purchases include sophisticated drones, advanced radar systems, and powerful missile defense systems. For example, India bought the Barak 8. This is a long-range surface-to-air missile system designed to protect against a wide range of aerial threats. Critically, this was not just an off-the-shelf purchase. The Barak 8 system was co-developed by the Defense Research and Development Organization of India, or DRDO, and Israel Aerospace Industries. Again, this highlights the theme of partnership. This is not just a simple transaction. It is a collaboration that has direct implications for improving the own technological and defense manufacturing capabilities of India. Ultimately, we have to ask why this is all happening now. Of course, there are many complex reasons. We can cite the fact that the economies of both India and Israel are growing. We can certainly point to the magnetic attractiveness of the technology sector in Israel, often called the Silicon Wadi. However, it is undeniable that one of the biggest single causes is the personal partnership between the leaders of the two nations, particularly Benjamin Netanyahu and Narendra Modi. These two leaders have made a very public and concerted effort to strengthen their relationship with each other in recent years. This is especially remarkable given that for much of history, the official relationship between India and Israel was far from close. Their friendship has provided the political will to push these connections forward. This partnership also has a very real human dimension. All of these deals and collaborations have had a profound impact on other sectors. For instance, the information technology sector in Israel has seen a noticeable rise in the number of Indian employees. From software development to cybersecurity, skilled workers from India are increasingly becoming an integral part of Israeli businesses. Overall, there are a lot of Indians living and working in Israel. They approximate to about 18,000 people. While that may not sound like a lot compared to the number of Indians in bigger countries like the United States, it is important to remember that Israel itself is a tiny nation. The effect of this migration is also important. It brings in remittances for families in India and strengthens the global reputation of India for its deep expertise in technology. So, let us discuss the final part of our story today, the overall impact on both countries. The impact is huge. For Israel, a country with a small population, these billion-dollar acquisitions from a rising global superpower like India are going to make a very big difference in the long run. They inject massive amounts of capital into the economy and signal to the rest of the world that Israel is a top destination for serious investment. For India, on the other hand, the gains are perhaps even more profound. It is likely that the greatest benefit will not be measured purely by economic means, not just by the profits these new subsidiaries generate. The real prize is technology and strategic positioning. Israel is prominent in the world for being an advanced, innovative nation. Acquisitions like these will enable Indian companies to absorb that innovation. They will help them compete much more strongly in the global markets. They are buying not just companies, but a shortcut to the future, a way to build a stronger, more technologically advanced India. This is a story of two nations, once distant, now building a powerful alliance for the 21st century, $1 billion deal at a time.